I don't know. TJ must see something in me that I don't see in myself because I don't know. I feel like I could have done better. I feel like I could have done better. I'm pretty hard on myself, but yeah, to hear TJ say that is huge, and I could not let him down if they asked me back. I would have to try it again.
Tyler, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to chat with you. We have a lot to talk about challenge wise. And, I want to rewind a little bit from we did last see the elimination there, but I wanted to go a little bit beforehand because we saw that daily challenge that everybody is talking about. We all loved it. But I wanted to know, like, in the house, were you and Chris actually maybe thinking of working together? Because I was just thinking myself, like, you guys were both at the end of the totem pole there. You guys both got into the elimination. Was that ever a conversation?
It was tough. I feel like Chris and I at this point kind of knew that we should do that, but it just seemed like every time Chris and I tried to do something together, we would just do the opposite of what the other person wanted to do. So I think he mentioned our anti-alliance in there at some point, but we really had an anti-alliance. Like anytime Chris wanted me to do something, I would go do the opposite. Anytime I wanted him to do something, he would do the opposite. And the only time we could come together is when we did it on accident. So I feel like we needed it, but we just couldn't come together. And we laugh about it now. We're friends now in real life, but in the game, just was not clicking.
Yeah, you guys kept missing each other, like ships passing in the night, I guess.
Exactly, exactly.
But you guys did end up in that elimination together. You put up an amazing fight. And I wanted to know too, like you were in like kind of the underdog position here for a lot of the game here. And that was pretty different from when we got to see you on BB20 and even BB22. So how did that affect how you played the game from that position?
Exactly. Yeah, it was definitely like new for me. Like in Big Brother in the past, I've always been a part of such strong alliances that make it super deep into the game. So being in that kind of role was definitely a new feeling for me. But it's also kind of nice to know your position in the game and to have some motivation and have like a chip on your shoulder. So as much as it was difficult for me to kind of navigate and I knew I was at the bottom, it kind of motivated me even more to, push myself physically in the challenges as hard as I can go. That's what I like about the challenge. It's like you don't just get voted out. If you want to stick around, you got to win your way to the end. And so once I clicked into that mentality, I felt like that was really when I started feeling like an actual, challenger.
Right there. And I mean, the challenge is a totally different breed here compared to Big Brother. We have so many like
Hmm.
pre-established relationships there. And like, I
Yes.
know that you had a relationship with Fessy from BB20, but he had all of these relationships with Josh and Corey and all that. So, how was that for you trying to find your way in the house?
It was tough. It was tough because like going in there, I had like a friendship with Josh, had like a friendship with Fess from the real world and from past games, but like you kind of notice pretty quickly that you might not be exactly at the top of their totem pole. And it's understandable because I've played one game with Fessel and we were on opposite sides of the house and he's played the challenge like however many times. So it's kind of like, they'll keep an eye out for you, but at some point that juice is going to run low. And after my entire team was taken out, pretty much they were kind of all I had left, and I used it to I like wrung out every bit of them that I had, and then it ran out. So it happens.
Yeah, I mean, you were such in like a fighting position there, like the underdog
Hmm.
position. Like it was so different, but it was so fun to see you in that different side of the game. And I mean, at the end here, we did get TJ. He said that he was like, he loved you. You got the golden ticket from him. Like, would you ever come back? Like, he seemed like he was interested. So, would you do it, Tyler?
That's crazy to hear. First off, like I don't know. TJ must see something in me that I don't see in myself because I don't know. I feel like I could have done better. I feel like I could have done better. I'm pretty hard on myself, but yeah, to hear TJ say that is huge. And I could not let him down if they asked me back. I would have to try it again. Like it was amazing. I feel like this game, it took me a while to get my footing. Like I said, like I really hadn't watched the challenge much. So the first couple weeks, I'm trying to understand the rules, trying to understand the pace of the game. By the time I like felt comfortable, I already had like six hopper votes, and I'm like, oh, this moves a bit quicker than I anticipated. So I feel like next time, if I do have another chance, I'll actually like start a little quicker compared to this time.
And maybe we'll see a lot of that, like Tyler missed, I guess, that we got to see in like BB20.
Maybe,
Like
maybe. I hope so. I mean, the underdog role is fun, but I prefer not to be in it. every time, you know?
Right. And I mean, we were speaking a little bit about like coming on for another season. Would you do USA or like is there any maybe MTV version in the mix there?
I don't know. I really like CBS. They seem to be pretty nice compared to some of the other MTV versions of the show that I've heard about. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'm definitely open for any opportunity, and I'd be blessed to even get asked to do another one. So we'll see.
Totally. And I mean, on that note too, I feel like I saw some talk or maybe even like a rumor before that Casey wanted you as like her ride or die for that ride or die
Hmm.
season. Was that true? Were you considered for that?
I don't know how deep I was considered, but she did hit me up like, "Hey, listen. So they're telling me about this ride or die thing. I know you've already said no a couple times, but I had to kind of put the question out there anyway, and I did say no to that. I just felt like I wasn't in the right mindset back in the day to dive into the challenge and in my personal life, and this one everything just clicked for me. So as much as I feel like Casey and I would have crushed it and would crush it if we had that opportunity again, I'm glad that this is the one that I said yes to.
Yeah. I mean, y'all would have been such a killer duo. I can't even imagine it.
Oh,
Because you guys killed it in
I miss
BB20.
it.
So
I know. We needed someday. Casey and I are gonna run it back. It just has to be the right time. And man, I wish this was the time. I wish she was there on this season. I feel like I probably wouldn't have been struggling as much as I did. I'd be like, Casey, what do I do? What am I doing today? I really don't know what to do.
so you would be interested in joining a season with her, maybe even like pairing up, stuff like that. So
Oh, a million times, yes. She is like the greatest. And Casey, I'm gonna put this out there. Casey Clark is the greatest reality TV contestant of all time. She has won Big Brother. She has won the challenge. She makes it to every final. She doesn't lose anything. Casey is the greatest. So to have her in the vicinity in any game is like an honor and a plus for me. So I would do it any day.
yeah, she's an elite competitor for sure. She
Elite.
like I would never ever want to go up against her in any physical competition. So
No, neither would I. No.
and then you briefly mentioned that, like this was kind of like the perfect storm for you to be on this season too, because I know, like, as you mentioned, like that you have maybe been asked a few times in the past. So I was wondering, like, why now was the perfect time for you to join the challenge world?
Yeah, I just felt like, I mean, there was a lot of things going on in my personal life. Like I just got out of, public relationship that had been happening for a long time. And I was kind of just personally looking for something new, looking for a life change. And I was in a transitional phase. So it's funny how these opportunities kind of present themselves at the perfect time. And I just paid attention to that this time. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be scared this time. I'm gonna go try something new and see what happens. So it just worked out perfectly. And I'm really glad it did because that was the experience of a lifetime.
Oh my gosh, yes. And it was a pleasure to get to watch you too. And I can speak for a lot of fans here. And we said like it was so exciting to get to see you on another show, especially after everything that happened in the past. So I'm just
Hmm.
glad that you said
Thank you.
yes this time.
I appreciate it. I'm glad too.
And like you did mention the relationship aspect, we had a little bit of a relationship thing going on in here. I have to ask you about it, of course, because I got this
Uh-huh.
from Alyssa last week, but I have to ask you now that I have you here. What's the status of your relationship? What's going on there?
Alyssa and I are friends at the moment. I feel like we're always gonna have a really strong relationship. But me personally, like I said, I was in one for a very long time, and I feel like it's important for me to kind of live life as just Tyler for right now. And as tough as it is, because Alyssa is like an absolutely perfect human being, I just felt like that was the right move for me. But at the same time, like I'll literally never have a bad thing to say about Alyssa because she's probably like the most sweet human on the planet. So yeah, but I'll always have that hold that relationship like, close
Yeah,
because she's awesome.
I mean that's nice to hear that you guys are on good terms. And when I
Hmm.
was talking to her, she did make it seem like, especially where you two left things off in the house, that like maybe we got that question mark in the future. So like future wise, are we thinking that status could change?
I mean, I try to take things day by day. I don't want to read too much into the future, so we'll see what happens. But for now, we're good.
So we still got that question mark there. Okay.
Maybe, I guess so. You could throw the question mark on there.
And I did want to ask too, since you also did mention that your other long-term relationship, because I can speak for a lot of fans too as well on this case. Like we got to see the beginning of your relationship. We got to see her on the last season of USA. And I'm obviously speaking of Angela. So I wanted to
Hmm.
know like what's the status of your relationship today? Like are you on good terms now since everything that happened?
We are on good terms. We are on good terms. I feel like we operate much better with the relationship we have now, and that's just as friends. And I personally am not someone who believes in like burning bridges, especially if it's unnecessary. You know, like neither of us did anybody dirty in any kind of way. We just kind of drifted apart. And, I'll always hold that relationship as like a valuable learning lesson for my life going forward. And she'll always hold like a special place for me just because 4 years of like such a crazy roller coaster time in my life was like a memorable one. So I don't want to have to look back on those memories and have a sour taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's important for us to maintain our friendship, and we have.
Oh, I love to hear that. And
Yeah.
of course, I could like literally never see you like being the kind of person to like be a burn bridges kind of person. Like I just can
Nah.
never get that vibe from you. Like,
Nah, I don't know if that's in my DNA.
and as we're winding down here, I want to know too, like, how is Tyler doing today? Because like after everything that we did speak about, like I want to know like what is your life looking like today? Like, because we have seen a lot of you from all these shows,
Hmm.
of course, and I want to know from you, like, how are you doing, like, in your life today, really?
I appreciate you asking that. I feel like I'm actually at one of the better points I've been since I've like everyone has met me on TV. Like I'm really just enjoying life and not taking it too seriously at the moment. And I feel like the challenge really helped me kind of. I've always had confidence issues, and I feel like the challenge, being able to make it so far, like really instilled like a deeper confidence in myself. And I'm feeling that these days, and I feel great, and life is good.
Oh, that's amazing. And that's an amazing
Yeah.
takeaway from something like the challenge too, like so
Hmm.
chaotic. Like I'm glad that you got to take away a big positive from something like that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It taught me a lot about myself, and I'm proud of myself for the way I, navigated it and handled myself. So life is good.
that's amazing to hear. And I mean, I can like it does seem like you are a very I know you're a chill person, but you seem even
Hmm.
more chill like nowadays, like on social media, just from like what I see from you. Like you seem
Yeah.
happier and it's really nice to see. So,
Well, thank you. I am, and I'm glad that it shows because I don't know. I feel like coming off of a show and not really anticipating what's going to happen afterwards kind of took a toll on me a lot more than I thought. And now that I'm, addressing my mental health a little bit more proactively and kind of diving into new challenges, and I have this confidence from the challenge now, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I'm happy that my growth that I've worked on really hard is showing. So thanks for saying
totally.
that.
And I'm glad for you first and foremost that it's working for you. So,
I
I mean, that's
appreciate
the
it.
most important part of it. And I mean,
Hmm.
speaking jumping off that point, do we have any other challenges, ironic, that you're looking to tackle in the future? Anything like that? What's next for
Ooh,
Tyler?
that's a good question. That's a good question. I feel like in the past, I've always put a lot of pressure on myself to be like, all right, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Hmm.
And ever since I kind of took that pressure off and just kind of let life happen around me, it seems like things like present themselves. So I feel like I might stay in that zone for a little while and, kind of see what happens because I'm
Okay.
loving it. Last
Yeah.
time I did that, the challenge called me. So you never know what could happen.
I mean, that's kind of the way to go in life anyway. So I like it.
Hmm. For sure. For
I
sure.
mean, are you still lifeguarding? No, probably not
No,
lifeguarding.
I'm not anymore. I'm not. I'm still living on Hilton Head though. I do miss those
Oh,
days. I'll go out to the beach and be like, man, shoot, I might have to give something to try again. We'll see.
so just living life, going on the challenge, doing amazing. I love to hear it.
Hmm.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, amazing talent. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, like about everything challenge-wise, everything going on in your life. I really appreciate you taking the time, even to answer some of the questions that maybe are a little more awkward, I guess, the
For
relationship ones.
sure.
But
No, I got you. I appreciate you.
of course, Tyler, and hope you have a great rest of your day, have a great weekend, and I can't wait to see what you tackle next.